Hi everybody, welcome to this short video on Microsoft's Advanced Threat Protection, ATP. This video is part of a video series from the Born in the Cloud Microsoft Cloud Security at the C-Level video series. If you've been reading the book and you're following along, a couple of data points to understand. The service name ATP, it applies to Windows 10 Anniversary Edition devices. The service is in Azure. It's a cloud-based service, and it's going to apply to on-prem resources Windows 10 devices. It only works on Windows 10 Anniversary. It's not going on servers, just going on clients throughout your estate. To start this demo off, Microsoft have produced a Word doc that has a fake malware inside it. I'm just going to open the Word doc. You have to enable a macro. I've already enabled the macro, and so the macro just opens. What you don't see is the Word doc goes and makes a connection to MSN. It creates some processes, and it connects to IP addresses outside of where it should do. Last thing it does is it just opens a command prompt that is an admin command prompt, and it will go and do a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, this wouldn't be seen in a real attack. A user would open the Word doc, enable the macro, an attack would happen. They'd be connecting to an external IP address, drop a payload, and life would be good. So an attack has happened on my machine. What we're going to do is we're going to pivot over to ATP. We're going to look at the attack on ATP and see how we can investigate what's going on there. From a web browser, I just go to securitycenter.windows.com. It will go and open the ATP console. The ATP console will always open on a dashboard. The dashboard tells you the number of alerts and how new the alerts are in your environment. It shows you machines at risk, so you can see PK Dell Desktop and Desktop GA. It shows you users at risk, the health of the system, the machines reporting in, and number of machines over a time period, and if there's been any malware attacks. So let's just pivot into an alert view. Let's look at new alerts that have come in. And you can see here that here is what's known as a right to left override has been observed. It's been observed on PK Dell Desktop. So if I just expand it down and I expand into the alert, so ATP is going to give you the ability to answer the three questions that you read in the book. The three questions are obviously, how did it get here? What did it do? Where did it go? How did it get here? The payload has come in from a WinWord attack. The payload came in on PK Dell Desktop, and it was PK, Desktop PK me, Paul Keeley, who clicked on the Word file that brought this in. So how did it get here? It got in through that desktop, through that user, through this Word file. What did the Word file do? It opened up PowerShell.exe and it created this backdoor. The backdoor then went and is after going into conhost, CMD conhost, and it's after doing a whole bunch of things in my environment. Things is pretty vague, so what has happened? Well, we're able to say, what did it get here? How did it get here and what did it do? And then the last question was, where did it go? And we can see that it's after communicating with Desktop GA and that there's a problem with Desktop GA as well. So if I go into if I go into this backdoor.exe and I click on it, so here is where we get into the file. The important thing is that you have to be able to triage and understand what's going on in your environment just from the ATP console. You can't be going to a whole bunch of places. Here is the file. Here's what its hash is under. It doesn't matter what the name is, this is what the hash is. There has been 0 malware detections on this file, and it has only been seen 246 times worldwide. It's a very unfamiliar file to ATP. I'm going to go to a machine view in a couple of minutes, and I'm going to look at other files, like super popular files, and you'll see 4 or 5 million instances of those files. 246 worldwide, really small. So what is this doing? Well, there's 4 file names observed, first by name and then by a bunch of hashes, and it's been observed on these machines. Okay, so what is this actually doing? This is the question. How did it get in here? What did it do? What did it do? And so ATP has a detonation chamber whereby I can submit this file to Microsoft and they will detonate it in a secure environment, and then they'll give me a report. And here's a report that I got 11 days ago. And so first of all, the system starts by communicating with an external IP address, which is terrible for us. They've opened a Word file, a process has happened in the background, and the process is communicating with an external IP address. And then it is going into registry keys, and it's going in and it's creating a non-Windows PE folder in the Windows folder. So Windows prefetch NTOS boot, and it's creating a different file folder. This is pretty dodgy for us. It's going and it's injecting into memory. It is dropping a file, and it's contacting 2 IP addresses. So this, this isn't great at all. So how do we understand files and IP addresses and where they're going and what they're doing? Well, one of the things that ATP has is a machine view. And if I just click on my desktop here where I've been running these tests on, so PKDEL desktop has had 2 users. None of them have been remote. They're interactive and other. And then it shows me every communication and every process that's happening from the machine in and out. Okay. And you can see, for example, that there's just been a communication with WhatsApp on this IP address. Okay. So we talked about the file and the IP. If I click on WhatsApp, it will come in and say, hey, look, I've seen WhatsApp on 44,000 machines worldwide. It's actually not that prevalent. And it says it's after communicating with this IP address. So if I highlight the IP address, it is Steven Klink, United States District of Columbia, and it resolves to web.whatsapp.com. So this file is legitimately communicating with WhatsApp. Doesn't look too dangerous. And 423,000 instances of this file. So you start to see, when it's a whole lot bigger and when it's growing a lot more, what that starts to look like. And then lastly, if I just go in PK desktop. So just lastly, when I come onto the box, a super powerful thing to do is just say, let's export to CSV. I'm just going to say, will you export from today and export. And unfortunately, I've just got pop-ups blocked. When I go into the pop-up, and download the file, here is the Excel spreadsheet that came down from it. Like, it's a super interesting amount of information that comes to it. But one of the things that I find pretty amazing is it shows every single communication that I'm having outside from this machine. So MSN, Office Labs, Docs.live, Outlook, etc. And then TechSmith. And then I'm able to go in and it will show, like you can see, for example, from Outlook. These are mails coming in from Outlook that have images. And this is us retrieving the image. and you can see where the emails are coming from and what the image association is. So you're able to go and investigate and understand really quickly what's happening on the environment. Just to try and explain how I get the client out in the first place, I'm using Configuration Manager. Configuration Manager has Windows Defender ATP. It's just a policy that I download from the ATP website and I import it in here, and I just go and deploy that to Windows 10 devices. Once a Windows 10 device, the correct version hits the network, this just gets deployed, gets sent out to it, and the device automatically enrolls. On the actual portal itself, it will tell you how you can onboard. And so, for example, you can do it just through group policy, through Config Manager, the old version of Config Manager, MDM, or a local script. The onboarding script is literally a few K. It's just your tenant name and what you need to do, certificate to connect to it, a secure key to connect to it. That's it. It's a really quick system to onboard. It's probably my most favorite tool of all the tools out there for the security environment. It's fantastic. Get it going. Thanks very much for watching.